We are going to call this as an empty array. Okay. So this is our empty array. Now inside this array, you can add some data. You can add some data. For examples, let me just create one more array var users. Now suppose inside this array I want to add some data. Now here I can add the data. In our JavaScript, in the array, we can add any type of data. Okay, any type of data. In Java, in your array, you can add only similar type of data. But in JavaScript, you can add any type of data. My first data can be of string type. My second data can be of Boolean type. My third data can be of number type. My fourth data can be of object type. Like this. You can have sixth data again, which can be of string type. So basically, your array can contain any type of data. And inside your array, whatever data you are storing, each data we are going to call as an element. Each and every element you have to differentiate with one comma operator. With comma operator. So this is what we are going to call as an array. Okay. Now here each and everything we are going to call as an element. So all this we are going to call as elements. Every element should be differentiated with comma operator. So every element in array should be differentiated with comma. Okay, you can add any number of elements in your array. You can add any number of elements in array. Okay, now every element in your array will have one unique index number. Every element in array will be allocated with unique index number. With unique index number. It means for every element in your array, you will have something called index number. So first element will have some index number. Second element will have index number. Now every index number will start with 0 and so on. Means the first element index number will be 0. Second element index number will be 1. Third element index number will be 2. Like this, so on. Third and fourth. Remember, your index number will start with 0 only, and they will be allocated in this sequence only. Index number will help us to identify specific data inside the array. Using index number, we can identify this specific data or element in the array. Suppose you want to find this data. You want to find 101. So in this array, where is 101? So we can say that 101 is the data which is placed on the second index of this array. Index number second. Okay. So remember, index will start from 0 only. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so on. Now, suppose if I given you one array, suppose if I give you one array, and in that array we have lot of elements. We have lot of elements. Now, if I ask you how many elements you have in that array, can you find out? If I ask you in that array, how many elements you have, can you find out? Then as of now, as per our knowledge, as per today's knowledge, what we are going to do, we will just start counting the element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we count. But let's imagine you have thousands of elements in your array. Now like this, we cannot count, right? 1,000 elements or 10,000 elements. So we should have some way to identify how many elements we have in that array. So to identify how many elements we have in our array, there is one property. There is one property called length. Using this length property, we can identify how many elements are present in our array. Okay, property called length will help us to find out how many elements we have in the array. It will give us the count. It will just give us the count. Suppose if you have 5 elements, it will just tell that 5. If you have 100 elements, it will just say 100. So it will give you the count. Okay, that is the length property. How to use this length property means, for that we have to follow very simple syntax. That is our array name. Whatever array name you have to use dot operator, and then you have to use length property. Now this length property is going to return, it is going to return number of elements in the array. Number of elements in the array. It is going to return number of elements in the array. Okay, so how to find number of elements in your array? Just array name dot length. Array name dot length. For example, I want to find out how many elements I have in this array. So what I will do? Simply I will use users, because this is my array name now. This variable will behave like an array name, arrays dot length. Now whenever I say arrays dot length, it will return how many elements we have in this array. Now if it is returning something, we have to catch in one variable. So I will just say count here. Now we can simply do console.log of count. Now let's see how much it will print. So just open your terminal. Now once you have opened your terminal, simply use this command, node array. Click on enter. Now see, it is returning 5. Why it is returning 5? Because in this array we have 5 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose if I am adding more elements here, suppose I am adding here 6, maybe something like this 7, maybe something like 8. Now I have added 2 elements. Now again, if I execute it, now it will return 8. So length is the property which will help us to know how many elements we have in the array. Understood how to identify number of elements in your array? Okay, so length is not a function, length is a property. So if someone asks you what is length, length is a function or property. You have to say length is a property, not function. Okay, and one more thing, you might have learned array methods in your Java, or you might have learned array methods in Python or C#. So sometimes array methods will change programming language to programming language. So whatever array methods you have in Java, that might not work in JavaScript. Whatever array methods you have in JavaScript, that might not work in Java. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you are learning multiple programming languages, because sometimes we will just mix the concepts of programming languages. And that is the common mistake we will do. Everybody we will do, because we are learning multiple things. So there are a lot of chances that we might get confused. Okay, so how to remove that confusion? Just by revising, just by practicing, you will get the clarity about your programming languages. So there are some people who might learn 3-4 programming languages in their career. Now, sometimes we might get confused. Maybe sometimes I might use JavaScript function inside Java and suddenly I will not get the results. In that case, what I will do? I will just go to the internet. I will check the documentation or I will check certain article and I will rectify my error. So as a developer, no need to remember the things. If you forget, it's okay. No problem. We have the access to the internet. Go to the internet, check the documentation, use it. That's it. Okay. So as a developer, we cannot remember everything. Yeah. Now, how to add? We will see how to add new element inside our array. How to add new element inside the array at last position. At last position. Suppose if you get a requirement where you have to add new element at the last position of your array, then array is providing us one predefined function called push. The function name is push. And inside this push, we have to pass the new element which you want to add. New element. Okay, here I will just add here new element. You can pass any type of element. You can pass number type, string type, boolean type, object type. You can pass function also, and you can pass one more array also. You can create nested arrays also. Okay, and this push function we have to call on array. We have to call on array. So that is your array name. Okay, remember push will add your new element at the last position. At the last position. So let me just create here array methods.js. So as of now, if I am using the term methods or functions, both are same. Okay, don't get confused. Methods or functions, both are same. So as of now, methods or functions, whatever name I am using, both are same. So sometimes I might use the word methods, sometimes I might use the word functions. Okay, the meaning of both the things are same. So some people will call array methods. So push is array method. Some people will call array functions. Array functions. Okay, technically the correct term which is given by JavaScript documentation is array methods. So they have mentioned the term array methods. Okay, so push is one of the array method which will help us to add new element in the array at last position. Now here I'm just creating one simple array. Okay, let's suppose I'm adding some data here, something like 100, 200, 300. Now I have 3 elements. Now I want to add one more element here. So before I add, I will just try to print my array. Okay, now I want to add new element. At last position. If you want to add element at last position, just take the help of push. So here I'm just adding 400. Afterwards, again, I will try to print it. Console.log of your array. Now save it. Now if I just go back and execute it, node array methods. Now see, before we add a new element in our array is printing something like this. After adding new element, now our new array is something like this: 100, 200, 300, 400. So this 400 added at the last position. You can add one more element if you want. Array.push. I can say here something like Neha. Now again, if I execute, now here I got Neha. So you can add any type of data. Can I add one more argument here? Can I pass one more argument? Suppose if I pass one more argument, in that case, both the argument will be added. Element 1, element 2. So both the elements are added. You can pass any number of arguments to your push. Whatever you will pass, all will be added as a new element in your existing array. Remember, your existing array got changed. This is how we add the new element. In the same way, if you want, you can add new element at the start of your array. Add element in the initial position. I want to add the array in the initial position. Initial position means before 100. Before 100, I want to add the element. So if you want to add element at the initial position, then we have one more array method, that is unshift. Okay, array dot unshift. Now here I am just passing 99. If I pass 99 and if I just clear it, and if I do console.log, just check here. Now see, 99 is added before 100. 99 is added before 100. Can I add one string? Or let me add one object. Here something like city is Delhi. And I will add one more element like 98. Now let's see how it will be added. Just clear, execute it. Now see, first this object is added, then 98 is added, then 99, then we have 100, 200, 300, 400, Neha. We have Neha. So unshift will add the element at initial position and push will add the element at the last position. If you want to add any element at specific position, then we will take the help of something called splice. We will take the help of a method called splice. Okay, I will show about this splice after some time. We will discuss about this splice after some time. Splice is another array method which will help us to add any new element at any specific position. If you want to add at last, push, add at first, unshift. If you want to add at any specific position, then splice. Okay, so before we discuss splice, let's discuss how to remove. How to remove element from starting and ending position. How to remove element from starting and ending position. Suppose if you want to remove the starting element, then we have a function called shift. There is a function called shift. So array name dot shift. If you call this function shift, it will remove your first element. If you say array name dot pop, it will remove your last element. It will remove your last element. It will remove your first element. It will remove your last element. So let's try that. So I will just create here one more, something like pop here shift.js. Okay, for this, we will change the name to something like push unshift. Okay, let me just close it here. First, you should have some array. So I'm just creating one array. Here I'm just adding something like this. Some data I'm adding. Now let's suppose I want to remove this last element. So what we have to do? Simply we have to say array dot push pop. Array dot pop. So before we remove the element, I will try to print that array. And after removing the element, again I will try to print the array. Okay, so pop will remove element from last position. So now if I try to execute it, node pop underscore shift. Now see, last element got removed. This element is removed from our array. If I call one more time array dot pop, last two elements will be removed. It means this both the elements will be removed. Now see, both the elements got removed. Okay. Now suppose if you want to remove first element, then we have shift. Remove element from first position. Array dot shift. If I say array dot shift, this element will be removed. Okay, let me just print it. Let me re-execute. Now see, we don't have here 10001. I can remove any number of elements. Now this first two elements will be removed, last two elements will be removed. So at the end, you will have only this element in the array. Now see, we have only one element in the array. Pop will remove the last element. Remove will this shift will remove the first element position. Are you guys able to understand these four methods? Push, unshift, shift, and pop. So in your interviews, they will ask. What is the difference between push and unshift? In your interviews, they can ask, what is the difference between push and pop? What is the difference between unshift and shift? So this kind of interview questions they will ask. Okay. Now, if you want to remove any specific element, or add new element at some specific position, then we will use splice function. We will use splice function. Okay, if you want to remove or if you want to add any specific element at a specific position, then we will use splice. For both, we will use splice only. Okay, so how splice will work? Let's try to understand. Array dot splice. Nothing but you have to say array name dot splice. Now splice will take multiple arguments. Splice will take multiple arguments. Okay, the first argument is the starting index. Starting index. So if you want to remove any specific element, so from where you want to start removing the element. So that starting index you have to provide as a first argument. Second argument, number of elements you want to remove. Number of elements wants to remove. How many elements you wants to remove from there? That number you have to pass as a second argument. Third argument, the elements you want to add. So from third arguments, you have to pass elements you want to add. This is the syntax we have to follow. Starting index. Okay, then number of elements wants to remove. Then element you want to add. Okay, so this is the syntax we have to follow for splice. So let's see how it will work now, how it works. Now, let me create a separate file for that, splice.js. Now, let's suppose I have an array. Here I have some data. Let's suppose I have some data like this. Now, let's suppose I want to remove Ayush. I want to remove Ayush from this array. This specific data I want to remove. So in that case, we can take the help of splice. So we can say array dot splice. Now, which element you want to remove? Ayush. It means this is the starting element. So what is the index number of this element? 0, 1, 2. So index number is 2. From here, how many elements you want to remove? I just want to remove only Ayush. So only 1. That's it. 2, 1. So we are saying that start removing the elements from the index number 2. 0, 1, 2. Start from here. But from here, how many elements you want to remove? Only 1. So just pass 1. Now, if you do console.log of array and same console.log of array, if you do here, let's see what it will print. Node splice. Now see, so whenever this console.log got printed, at that time it printed entire array. But whenever this console.log printed, now we don't have Ayush. Now we don't have Ayush. So you can remove a specific element or you can remove the set of elements also. You can remove set of elements also. Okay. So how to remove set of elements? Let me show you. Suppose I want to remove Rahul, Ayush, 100. I want to remove these 3 elements. So in that case, we will simply say array.splice. First, you have to give the starting index from where you want to start removing the elements. I want to start removing the elements from Rahul. So the index number of Rahul is 1. And from here, how many elements you want to remove? 1, 2, 3. I want to remove 3. So pass 3. Now, if you try to execute it, now see, Rahul, Ayush, 100. All these 3 elements are removed. So after Raj, we have true 99. So if you want to remove a certain element, then you have to pass. Now, if you want to add certain element, okay, here let me add one comment, remove specific element. Now here I want to add new element. So if you want to add new element, again we have to do this only. Array dot splice. Your starting index where you want to add. Suppose you want to add before Ayush. Before Ayush, I want to add some data. So 0, 1, 2. So I'm just passing here 2. From here, I don't want to remove any element. So 0, comma. Third argument is the element which you want to add. So here I am saying I want to add something like let's suppose one object I want to add. City like Delhi. I want to add this object. Let's see where this object will be added. If I just execute it, node splice. Now see, before Ayush, before your Ayush, one object is added. This object added. So if you want to add any element at any specific position, so if you took 2 means before 2, it will add here. 0, 1, it will add. Suppose if you say here 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, means before true, this object will be added. Before true, object is added. Understood how to add and how to remove this specific element from a specific position? Is it clear, guys? Now there is one more method, something called slice. Okay, a lot of people will get confused here. Splice and slice. Slice. Do you know what is the general meaning of slice? Anybody knows what is the general meaning of slice? Did anyone ask you give me the slice of a mango? In breads also you will have that slice, right? Yeah. So slice is nothing but a piece of something. Slice is nothing but it's a piece. Okay. Suppose if you want to extract certain part of your array, if you want to extract certain part of your array and you want to keep or you want to copy that that certain part in new array. Let's suppose this is my original array. Now what I want to do, I want to extract this much part. This part I want to extract and I want to keep in the new array. So if you want to extract any specific part of your array, then we will go with slice function. So it is used to extract the part of your array. Okay, and the syntax is very similar to splice. So syntax will be something like this. Array name dot slice starting index until which part you want to extract, that last index. Last index. Okay. Suppose if you want to extract from Rahul to 100. Now starting index will be Rahul. So it's like 0, 1 and last index will be true. It should not be 100. It should be true. It means last index will not be included. So here note point you have to remember. Last index will not be included while extracting the element. While extracting the element. So this is the note point we have to remember. So here if I come and if I just copy this array as it is, if I create a new file called slice.js, suppose I want to extract from Rahul to 100. This part I want to extract. So what we have to do, we have to say var new array equals to arr array dot slice. So from where we want to start? I want to start with Rahul, from Rahul. So here 1, comma, till what part you want to extract? You want to extract till 100. So what is the index number of 100? 1, 2, 3. So here you should not pass 3. You should pass 3 plus 1. Nothing but you have to pass 4. You have to pass 1 index number more. So now if you say 1, comma 3, then it will start extracting from the index number 1 and it will extract till 3. It will extract till 3. So this fourth element will not be included. So if I do console.log of new array, if I execute here, node slice. Now see, I got Rahul, Ayush, 100. So remember, last index number, last element will not be included while extracting. Okay. Now here, suppose you want to extract till true. I want to extract from here to here. It means the starting index should be Rahul and last index should be 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you have to add 5. You got true. Remember, slice will return one array. Remember, slice will return one array. Slice will return array. So whatever part you have extracted, that extracted will be added in this returned array. So slice will not modify the original array. That is one more point you have to remember. Slice will not modify the original array. It will just extract that part and it will just copy that part. It will not remove. Remember, slice will not remove. So if I do here console.log of array, my original array will not modify. It will be as it is. Now see, my original array is not modifying. The part which I am extracting, it is copied into new array. It is just copied into new. Okay. So the difference between slice and splice. Splice will modify your array. Splice will modify your original array. Slice will not modify your original array. Slice will not modify, but splice will modify. Okay. So both the functions are used for two different purposes, but the names look very similar. That is the reason in your interviews, people will ask, what is the difference between splice and slice? But the purpose of both the functions are completely different. Splice is used to remove and insert new element. Slice is used to extract certain part of your array. It will not remove that part. It will just copy the certain part of your array in the new array. Got it? Got it, guys? Understood the difference between splice and slice? So now, as of now, how many methods we are aware about? We are aware about totally 6 methods, right? We know 6 methods now. So we know push, unshift, pop. We know slice. We know splice. Okay. We have one more element, one more method, something called index of. Okay, index of. Now, index of method or index of function is used to identify certain element is present in our array or not. Suppose if someone give you one array, and if someone asks you, do you know whether a specific element is present in that array or not? So to identify certain specific element is present in that array or not, for that we can take the help of index of. Apart from this, we can identify the index number of specific element. Index number of specific element. Now here I'm just creating something called index of. Suppose I have array here. I will just copy this array. Now let's suppose I want to find the index number of 100. I want to find the index number of 100. So what I will do? Simply, I will say var index number equals to array dot index of. Which element index of you want to find? 100. So I am passing 100. Now if I execute here, and if I just try to print console.log of index number, node index of. Now see, it is 3. So the index number of this 100 is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. In the same way, I want to find the index number of 99. It's like 5. It's like 5. So if you pass certain element, if that element is present in that array, then it will return the index number of that element. Suppose if you are passing the element which is not present in your array. Now I am passing element which is not present in my array. In that case, it will return -1. It will return -1. It will return -1. It means whenever you are using index of, if index of returns some index number, it means that element is present in that array at that particular index. If index of returns -1, it means that element is not present in that array. It means that element is not present in that array. Understood? Index of. Now suppose I have duplicate data. Now this 100 I have 2 times. I have the 100 at index number 2. Then I have the array at index number 4. Now if I try to identify 100. Now can you guys tell me what index of will do? Will it return 0, 1, 2? It will return 2, or it will return 4, or it will return error, or it will return error. So if I execute it, now it is returning 2. It means it will return first encountered element. First encountered element. Okay, if I pass 100 here, then it will return 1. It will return 1 because it is encountered first. Suppose you want to find the index number of last element. Then we have last index of. Okay, we have something called last index of. There is one more function called last index of. Now in this case, it will print the last encountered element. Now see, here it is printing 5. Because this is at the 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Index of will print the first encountered element. Last index of will print the last encountered element. Okay, in between, if you want to find, there is no method. There is no method in the JavaScript to find in between. We have first and last. We have just first and last. Got it? So this is the index of. So now we know last index of also. We have one more function, that is includes. Now includes is a function or method which is used to identify certain element is present in your array or not. Include is used specifically to identify certain element is present in your array or not. If element is present, then it will return true. If element is not present, it will return false. It means includes will return one Boolean value, true or false. True means element is present in the array. False means element is not present in the array. So here, if I just do includes, if I just copy this array only as it is, okay. Now here I am doing array dot includes of Rahul, where here I will say is element present. Now here simply I can do console.log of is element present. Okay, now I just want to identify whether a specific this Rahul is present in this array or not. So execute node includes. Now it is returning true. True means Rahul is present. This element is present inside this array. If I say here Rahul 1, 2, 3, in this case it will return false. False means Rahul 1, 2, 3 is not present inside this array. Now if I do like this, Rahul. Now can you guys guess in this case what it will return? If I pass Rahul in lower cases, what it will return? False, because JavaScript is case sensitive. Okay, so here R is capital, but here R is small. That is the reason it will return false. Includes. Now let's suppose I want to access a specific element. I just want to print this Ayush. I want to print Ayush. So can you guys tell me how to print only Ayush? I want to access a specific element. How to access a specific element? Yes. So for that, simply what we have to do, we have to take array name, square brackets, and index number. Index number of that element. You want to access Ayush, then identify what is the index number of Ayush. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So pass 4. And I will just add this in the console.log. Now it will print this specific element. Now see, Ayush is printed. Suppose if you want to access 99, 5, 6, 7. If I say 7, it prints 99. Okay. Now my requirement is I want to print each and every element. I want to print Raj 100, Rahul 100, Ayush 100, true 99. Each and every element I want to print. I want like this output. Raj 100, Rahul 100, like this I want to print each and every element. So how to print each and every element? So if you want to access each and every element of your array, if you want to access each and every element of your array, then there is one more predefined method called for each. For each is one of array method which will help us to give the access of each and every element of our array. Okay, so let us learn about for each. It is little bit different. So here array name dot for each. Now for each will take one argument, and that one argument is one callback function. So for each will take one callback function as an argument. And this callback function will take two parameters. It will take two parameters, element, comma, index. Now what this for each will do, it will iterate through this array, and it will pick each and every element, and it will keep that element here, and the index of that element will be kept here, and this function will be called. So what this for each will do, it will go to this array. Okay, let's suppose I have array here. I have this array. So now what this for each is going to do, this for each, what it will do, it will go to this array, it will pick the first element, it will pick the Raj. This Raj will be kept here inside this element, it will add that Raj. And what is the index number of Raj? It's a 0. 0 will be added here. Nothing but inside this parameter Raj will be kept, inside this parameter the index of Raj will be kept, and this function will be called internally. This function will be called, and whatever logic you will write inside this function, that logic will execute. Let's suppose inside this function I just wrote one statement, that is console.log, and I'm just printing that element comma index. I'm just trying to print element dot index. In that case, whatever data you stored in the element, that is Raj, so Raj will print, and index 0 will print. Once this function got executed, then what this for each will do, again it will go and check this array. Do you have one more element or not? Yes, I have one more element. Now it will pick 100. Now this 100 will be kept inside this element. Nothing but Raj will be removed and 100 will be added. Whatever previous index is there, that index is removed. It will see what is the index of 100. That is 1. 1 will be kept here. Again this function will be called. Again, if this function is called, again console.log will execute, and at that time inside this element we have 100. So here it will print 100, and the index of 100 is 1. It will print 1. So like this, it will iterate through your array unless all the elements are tracked, unless it access all the elements. It will do the same thing. It means this function, how many times this function will get executed, that depends upon how many elements we have in the array. In your array, if you have 3 elements, 3 times this function will get executed. In your array, if you have 100 elements, 100 times this function will get executed. Okay, so let's see here. So I will just copy this. I will create for each.js, paste array.forEach. For each will take one callback function. This function will take two parameters. One is element, one more is index. Remember, in your element, first parameter, always element will be added. In second parameter, always index will be added. Now, whatever logic you want, you can write here. I'm just writing console.log because I just want to print it. So element comma index I will say. Now just check if I execute it. Node for each. Now see, it printed each and every element of my array. Raj 100, Rahul 100, Ayush 100, True 99. All elements are printed with their index number. With their index number, all the elements are printed. These are just parameter names. Okay, remember these are just parameter names. You can take anything. I can take normal E also. Normal E and I. If I'm taking normal E and I, here also you have to pass E and I only. They are just parameter names. You can give whatever names you want. Okay, but in first parameter, always element will be stored. In second parameter, always index will be stored. Is it clear how for each is working? Understood, guys? For each. Yeah. So we have two more methods which we need to discuss, which are very, very important. One is map. One more is filter. These are the two more methods which we will discuss in our arrays. Map and filter. If you guys are preparing to learn React, if you guys are thinking to learn React in future, then this map will play very crucial role. Very frequently, we will be using this map method in React. Okay. So in tomorrow's session, freshly we will understand map and filter, how map and filter will work. So map and filter are again array methods. So how many array methods we have discussed in today's session? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have discussed 10. We will discuss more too. So that is 12 array methods we have discussed. Now, once you know these 12 array methods, remaining array methods, you guys can learn by yourself. Okay. So you will be capable of learning those array methods by yourself. I will just show you the documentation from where you have to learn. Just go that documentation, learn it. You will be able to explore all the array methods. So once we have done with the array methods, we will start with operators. Okay, I will just explain operators. Now, operators is very easy topic. Already we are learning about operators from our school days. So, but there are some special operators you have to learn. Once we have done with the operators, then I will explain you selection statement or control statement. Okay, then we will see loops. Now, once you are done with these three topics, then we are good with the basics of JavaScript. We are just good with the basics of JavaScript. So once we have done with these three topics, then we are good with the basics of JavaScript. Now you can start learning React, Angular, parallelly. But meanwhile, they finish the introduction of React or Angular, we have to be good with the advanced concepts of JavaScript. So once we have done with this, then we will start with the advanced concepts of JavaScript like DOM manipulation, promises, fetch, events, event delegation, event propagation, event capturing, okay, call, apply, bind, fetch, destructuring, REST operator, spread operator, prototypes, object-oriented programming in JavaScript, okay, callback, hell, all these concepts we will explore. Okay, so more 2 weeks. I think more 2 weeks we required for JavaScript. More 2 or 1 week. So maximum by the end of this month, we will finish our JavaScript. Maximum by the end of this month, we will finish JavaScript. So once we have done with the JavaScript, then we will start with Bootstrap. And still, I think there are some CSS topics are pending, right? So we have to cover those pending CSS topics as well. So before we wrap this entire batch, we should finish each and every topic that is mentioned in our curriculum. Okay, so I will finish each and every topic that is mentioned in the curriculum before I wrap this batch. So don't worry about when CSS topics will be covered. I will cover it. So without covering all the topics, I won't wrap our batch. By the end of this month, we will finish with entire JavaScript, even advanced concepts of JavaScript. And I think, guys, you did not fill the feedback form. Only few people filled that feedback form. So I just want everybody to fill that feedback form. Initially, I don't basically, I don't take feedbacks on regular basis. So the people who did not fill that feedback form, feel free to fill that feedback form so that I can get the idea how you guys are taking the sessions, what need to get improved, okay, what need to get changed. That kind of idea I will get. Okay, if you don't fill feedback form, then I feel that you are feeling perfect with the sessions, then I need to go with the same flow. So if you want something should get changed, if you want something should get added, something should get removed, feel free to add in that feedback form. Yeah, so remaining things we will see in tomorrow's session, guys.